Good morning, everybody. Do we have any data this morning? Let me see here. I think we have some at 10 o'clock. Yeah, we do. We have data coming out after the bell, but not before. So looking at our trade plan from yesterday, we were saying holding above or below 806, which is the value low of yesterday. You are already hitting our target, which is the retrace of yesterday, back into, let me see here, 856. Did I do these backwards? What happened here? Oh, I see what I did. Sorry about that. So I put on the holding above levels, I put the levels of below, and then on the holding below, I kind of mixed them up here. So first level should have been 56. Second level should have been 901. Let's go ahead and correct that here. We actually need to raise those anyway because that target was hit. So that would have been 901, and let's see here. 935. Yeah, sorry about that. I did those levels a little late last night. I was pretty tired. Holding below, let's see here. We're going to say 855, which we do need to update this one as well. That's going to be 806, and the next one's going to be 751, which is that overnight low. Okay, let's double check these. Those should be good. So holding above or below 855, looking for 901 and 935. You could also look for the full retrace into 56. Holding below retraces back down, 806. And then overnight low, let's go ahead and mark that out. That's going to be 751. And as far as the day shape goes, it is a capital B, which is probably going to quickly turn into a P shape. Which is bullish for now. I say for now because if we look at the daily, it has been one time framing bearishly the entire week, meaning every day has made a new low and protected the prior day's high. So you would need a pretty strong reversal to break that here. All right, what the hell is this music I have on? 1 second here. Okay, NASDAQ, let's see. We need to update these as well. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to say 856. We are going to say 25,000. Nice whole number there. And the overnight high is 170. And then below is a retrace 586 down to 24,240. Same thing here, capital B, but be careful because we have a one time frame effect on the daily every single day this week. They are aggressively protecting the high of day of every candle. I forgot to start my Addis. Give me 1 second. Let me start that up. But yeah, if you keep an eye on the daily of the last 4 days, which is obviously the whole week, new lows every day, and then the highs are being protected every single day. Not even a sweep. They're not even breaking the high and then sweeping it. They are completely protecting the highs. Now, today is sweeping the prior low of yesterday. So keep an eye on the high of day, which is around 934. Sorry, I know you guys can't see my screen. Give me 1 second here. It's taking a little bit to load. Not sure why it's taking so long. This is why you normally don't want to start your platforms after the open. They take a long time to load when everybody's trying to fire them up at the same time. Yeah, what I was saying on the daily here, I'll show you. You can see the highs are being protected every time, lows are being taken out. Here's that daily pivot. Keep an eye on that. 30-minute trail coming up as well. A little bit of support coming in. There's a little bit of a value gap right here between 855 and 901. There's not really any value. So if it does continue, watch that 900 level, very key level. You don't really have a value gap on NASDAQ because the value areas line up almost to the tick. So if we do hold above that 850, 860 area, you're going to start retracing Wednesday, which was the very strong day. Well, Tuesday was strong as well. A reminder, there is data coming out at 10 o'clock. Is my data, speaking of data, I think my data is frozen. What's going on here? Is anybody else having issues with their rhythmic? Let me try to reload here. Okay, it says I'm connecting to Apex. Let me try to disconnect from the Addis server. You started late, Rhythmic hasn't popped up. Okay, so it seems like a Rhythmic issue. We're like going back and forth. One day we got Tradebait issues, one day we have Rhythmic issues. Yeah, it says I'm connected, but it says my latency is NA, meaning it's not like actually connected. All right, that's fine. We're going to use our other charts here for now. The downside of trading getting popular is so many people blowing up the servers. Yeah, Momo Friday, exactly. Well, I guess while we're on these charts, I can show you some levels on Bitcoin because it has been dying recently. So our level that we had below at 60,200, damn near the bottom, to the tick. I mean, on a daily time scale, that is basically to the tick. And this is that really old value zone from way back in 2024, damn near the entire year. This was that year that we were just ranging, building that bell curve. We just finished the retrace of that entire range. So if you stay below that level, not looking too good. Support's kind of around like 55,000, 50,000, and then down to like 42. We're starting to get very close to the long-term dollar cost averaging levels. If you do want to start trading, or not trading, I would more so investing for like 2 to 3 years out. That was a 52% pullback from the all-time high. So right inside that level that we talk about, around 40 to 60% from all-time high is typically where you can start looking to invest for long-term, playing that longer cycle. Now, I will say here, the dangerous part about this is down very, very quickly. This would be one of the fastest bear markets we've seen in crypto. So this being the bottom, when it's only been a couple of months, would be highly unlikely. Typically, bear markets, as you can see, they take a very long time. They're typically longer than a few months. So that's a little bit hard to start buying that early. But if you're trying to play the percentage game, it's not that big of a deal. Your dollar cost averaging for like 2-3 years out, not a big deal. But yeah, I would keep an eye on it. It's definitely starting to enter those levels. I'd be much happier as a buyer around 50K down to 40K. That's kind of my buy zone. So I'd say like somewhere in this general area, that's kind of where I'm looking to be a big buyer. But if you wanted to start layering in a little bit around here for 2-3 years out, you're probably going to be okay. Like I said, we're not trading this. This is investing. You're not going to look at this every day. This is something that you're going to buy and forget about for a couple of years. As my connection came back, it does not look like it. Good morning, everybody. Want a future blood? Jose, Igor, Tachi, JC. Let me pin the trade plan for you guys. There you go. JC, Banana, Alex, Scott, Larry, Ordinary, Roman. Good morning, Titus. Good morning, Ike, Brian, Music. Mag, Greg, Linus, Joan. Good morning, Lumir, Timothy, Scott, Peter. Good morning, Roman, DMG, Vivian, Ollie. Good morning, eBay. Yeah, Joe, Mind Over Markets. That's the Dalton book that I recommend. His newer one is okay, but it's just a different style. It's more of like I'd say it's more so like psychological book than a technical book. Good morning, Michael. Darius AT, 23. Good morning, Sam, Riso. Julio. By the way, Julio, sorry, I forgot to add you again yesterday. I'll send you a friend request here shortly on Discord. Let me check. Did the other members finally accept my friend request? Let me see here. They have not. Okay, so I'll send you guys emails today to remind you. Good morning, Will, Faraj. Agro, Chris. Good morning, Trevor. Good morning, Angela. Angelo, sorry. Bella. Orion. Flory, Mister. Good morning, Ryder. Yeah, there's not like a specific order. You can read them both. They're just kind of different. The new one's more psychological. The older one, Mind Over Markets, way more technical. Some of the stuff in Mind Over Markets is a bit outdated. He doesn't teach anymore, which he'll talk about in his newer book. But I still use some of the older stuff anyway. It's like some of the retrace stuff he doesn't do anymore, and then a few other things. By the way, we're just pushing our upper trade plan here, so nothing crazy. Holding above 855, looking for 901. 901's being hit right now. And then 935 coming up. This is the value retrace. Value retrace of Wednesday, if we can hold above 900. .30-minute lows being protected for the most part. Now pay attention because we're going to start getting into those daily highs, which we have been protecting every single day this week. We have not taken out a daily high so far today. I think Rhythmic is having issues right now, Charlie, because I'm having issues on my end as well. My Rhythmic data is not loading. Let me double check here. Yeah, my Rhythmic data is still frozen. Seems like nowadays there's just no real consistent data provider. They're all struggling. You reconnected just fine? Okay, let me try to log out, see if it'll fix it. It's allowing me to connect, but it's not giving me data for some reason. All right, I'll do the thing I tell you guys to never do. I'm going to restart completely. And then I'll probably be locked out all day. We'll see. Keep an eye on the ADMAs. They are still holding. 5-minute lows being protected as well. Good morning, Ike. Okay, seems like it was an Addis issue, not an Apex issue. Restarted Addis and I'm good to go now. It did seem like when I started Addis the first time, it was kind of locked up for some reason. What are we trading at? Let me double check. 99. Yeah, we're good. I need to start getting back on stream like 10 minutes earlier, like I used to, with all these issues we keep having in the morning. I just don't like the waiting. I don't like sitting here waiting for the open for like 30 minutes. We used to do those like pre-market streams where I would start like what, an hour early, and we'd do all the news and go over all the levels and stuff. But to be honest, I just prefer like jumping right in. I feel like if I'm sitting here waiting for the open for like 30 minutes or however long, it like forces me to trade right when it opens. Because I've been sitting there waiting the whole time. So now I feel like, oh, now it's opening, now I can trade. And that's not a good mindset to have. Now, obviously, on some days like this, it kind of works out if you trade right at the open. But a lot of days are not like this. A lot of days you have really sloppy opens. Keep an eye on 900, holding above that. We're going to start that retrace of Wednesday, possibly going back to yesterday's high. That would be the first high of the day of a prior high that was taken out this week, if they're able to do that. Start 2 hours early and trade pre-market? Yeah. Yeah, I just don't want to change my schedule or anything. I don't want to get back into the mindset that I had in the crypto days where I felt like I had to trade 24/7. And we were staying up till like 7 a.m. the next day, trading basically 16, 20 hours a day. Yeah, trading opens like this is very difficult for my style. My style is more reversal style, right? So these opens are more momentum. So if you are seeing the breakout right out of the open, you're seeing that momentum. If you're a breakout guy, a momentum guy, you basically just follow that momentum as long as it's staying above the 5-minute lows, ADMA, whatever trailing system you use, then you're just following that momentum. But if you're looking for reversals, looking for pullbacks, you didn't really get it until you started pulling back into the ADMA or possibly pulling back into VWAP or something like that. Pulling back into a prior node, whatever, right? Some kind of pullback. Crypto is useless nowadays. Yeah, there's still some really good trades to be had in crypto, but you have to. I have a friend who was trading in our Discord. If you guys are back here in the COVID days, his Discord name was Sticky. If you guys remember him, he was our big crypto guy. But I'm referencing him because he was the kind of crypto guy that you need to be right now if you want to make money in crypto. He just kind of knew about everything. Like if there was like a niche thing happening in crypto, he just knew it was happening. And he always had really good information, and he was at the right place at the right time all the time. And that's kind of what you have to be in crypto right now. You have to be keeping your eyes out for all these little niche things that are going on. And that's like the exact opposite of how I like to trade. I can't stand trading like that. Sounds like a time traveler. Oh yeah, he's I mean, to this day, he's still very, very good. He just puts in a lot of hours. he's kind of still in that mindset of like trading pretty much all day, keeping your eyes on everything all day. He's a grinder, right? He likes to put in the hours. Keep it on the 24 here at 90. This is also the daily VWAP, which is not very strong. It's only been up for about 25 minutes. We do have data coming out at 10 o'clock, so watch out for that. If they lose this upper node below like 77, that doesn't look too good. The problem with crypto is you always have so many years, and it's kind of like this with equities now, because equities are so damn strong. You have years where if you just bought and held, which basically you are investing, right? If you were just investing for that year, you would have performed pretty dang well. Like you would have made 20%, 30%, whatever, right? In the crypto days, it'd be like 100%, 200%, something crazy. So it's like, okay, how much do I have to work to outperform the most simple investing strategy of just buying and holding? And is that amount of hours that I have to put into it, like I always talk about, time in, value out, right? How much time do I have to put in to generate that value to outperform the system that requires zero time? Because right now, the zero time strategy, it's not exactly zero. You still got to do a little bit of research, invest, and then come back a year later. But the near zero investment strategy is doing pretty dang well on almost every asset. I mean, look at gold, look at silver, look at crypto, look at equities. So you don't want to be killing yourself trying to outperform that market, right? It's always good to have a little bit of both. There are no single prints today. You cannot physically have single prints until 10:30. A lot of friends switch to intraday at crypto. Yeah, you can do intraday like trading, like that's what I was talking about, like back in the early stream days. There's definitely rewards to be found there, but you're gonna have to put in so many hours to outperform the zero time investment strategy on crypto. Losing the daily VWAP here on NASDAQ. Keep an eye on the open. That sell pressure starting to come in like we've seen this whole week towards those daily highs. Here is that 10 o'clock data coming out. Dex, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. I just use the standard contract. I just use the most up-to-date futures contract, which right now is the H contract, which is March. Wall Street Journal putting out some headlines about Iran refusing to end their nuclear enrichment. Possibly some help to the bears here. 10 o'clock data 57.3 over 55. Inflation 3.5. Last report was 4%. Yeah, it's kind of a rollover top. It's a little bit of a weird one. So this is what I was talking about during our trade plan. As you approach these daily highs, they are being protected very aggressively. We have not taken out a prior day's high the entire week. Failing that 900 level here, which is that value low of Wednesday. Liquidity is still terrible. Good morning, Zip. We did on Tuesday just barely. On NASDAQ, not on... Did we do it on ES as well? Oh yeah, we did on ES, yeah. So it wicked it. That doesn't really count for me. If it's a sweep, I consider that bearish. The bears are still in control. It was also pre-market. So this was a sweep here. And then you saw how aggressively they sold. Same thing when I'm talking about 5-minute highs and lows. If it sweeps, they're still protecting it. You guys will hear me say that a lot in the afternoon with the 30-minute levels. Because typically in the afternoon, we'll have like one trend where the 30-minute levels are holding one way or the other. I'm still just kind of wondering what the hell the market makers are waiting on. They are still very scared of something. Maybe they think that this Iran thing is going to escalate. Could be something with the Fed. I'm not sure. Hard to say at this point. Yeah, they switched which product they're trading. Yeah. Well, it seems like there's liquidity issues in every market right now. You can see how quickly everything's falling. Look at how fast crypto is falling. That's highly unusual. The swings in metals is just insane. Silver back up 10%. Bitcoin's nearly up 10% off the lows as well. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, look at the liquidity in these markets. Look at how quickly they can just move in either direction. Top step reduce contracts for trading gold. And is it just, oh, that's everything? Oh, gold and silver, I got you. Yeah, I'd assume most people that are trading those contracts are probably trading like one. It's moving around so damn fast. You really don't need to trade too many. You want a tamer? Good morning, Optic. Possibly a failure to rotate here. Trying to rotate back down, but it's being stalled on that POC node. That is a very green heat map for once. We've been seeing a lot of red recently. Amazon down 10%. Yeah, definitely looking like a failure to rotate here, finding buyers on the POC, and they're also protecting that level I talked about earlier, where if they lost this, there's really no value below. That's the low of that node. Seeing a little bit of absorption on that low of the node as well. Sellers trying to push into it, but they got absorbed. Yeah, those contract sizes for most of the prop firms, like the maximum, is definitely for like the gamblers. It's not for like the consistent traders. No consistent trader is hitting those levels. Do we have anything after 10 o'clock today? Let me see here. Consumer credit at 3 p.m., and that's pretty much it. Back into that absorbed level here. If they can stay below 77, it looks pretty weak. This lower tail is extremely weak. It was a failure to rotate, but they failed to make it back to that value high. They are not able to hold above 900 here. So buyers are not looking too good. Starting to lose that node. The rest of this candle is very weak. There's not a lot of value down here. So it can come down pretty quickly. Keep an eye on that session VWAP at 55, coming up much faster on NASDAQ at 711. Worst thing in trading is breaking your rules and having the outcome be positive. Yeah, it just depends on, like, if you're seeing that consistently, then maybe your rules are not what they should be. If it's happening every now and then, you can always win bad trades. Like, you can take a random news trade and get lucky and win. Doesn't mean it was a good trade. That's why having a large amount of trades under your belt is very important to find the patterns and find where the consistency is. Take out all the outliers, all the randomness. They're still aggressively protecting that lower node. Below 80, they're buying up very quickly here. It does seem like it is a pretty key level. We had the low of Wednesday, the morning high of yesterday, and now they're reacting to it here as well. So a bit of a key level. You have all these overlapping wicks right here. My tickers in TradingView are different because they're the continuous contract. So they're using the, if you type in the futures contract, then 1 exclamation point, it's the continuous contract that puts all the rollovers together. You have continuous contracts on pretty much every broker. Like I could have them on here as well. I have like a 3 to 4 part series in my order flow playlist that is using Addis. And then I have like an Addis startup guide video. I think there's like one other one that I'm forgetting, but if you type in Addis on my channel, they should come up. Yeah, it looks like the Iran crisis is ramping up, which is possibly leading to a lot of this lack in liquidity. United States and China both telling their citizens, this is not like brand new news, this came out like a little while ago. Both countries telling their citizens to leave immediately. These headlines are coming after the peace talks were kind of dying down because Iran was basically saying they're not going to stop enriching uranium. Has the Iranian internet gone back up or is it still down? That has to be one of the longest periods of internet blackout. Says it is still down or heavily restricted. MicroStrategy earnings were yesterday. That could partially be why Bitcoin is bottoming so hard. Yeah, sometimes TradingView does that where there's like a gap for some reason. Oh yeah, mine did the same thing. That's funny. Does it do that on the actual contract? Yeah, it took the contract as well. What about the forward contract? The forward contract is there, but it's really sloppy. That's TradingView for you. MNQ looks fine. That overlap's still holding us up here. You have this overlap from Wednesday, the Wednesday low and the Thursday morning high. We broke through it, back tested it, and now we're bouncing off of it. A pretty strong trend. Also the Tuesday low, let me see. Yeah, kind of. About the same level. Not as clean. Like this and this is really clean. They're like hitting the exact same level. If I extended this out, it wouldn't be as clean. I'd have to make this a lot larger. What's Halliburton's ticker? I haven't seen them in a long time. Is it 2 L's in Halliburton? Oh, 2 L's. This company's done basically nothing for many years. Pretty typical defense or communication stock price action. Bouncing off a really old pivot. That looks decent. You got a decent like weekly trend going on. There's a pivot at 37, pivot at 41. Pretty stable trend protecting the trail every time it pulls back. It's not really a buy point though, at least for stuff that I like to buy. Like if I'm looking at stocks, I'm buying down here. I'm buying impulse accumulation, right? That's usually the best place to buy stocks. And then you make money, obviously, when it does this. very far off the weekly average as well. So hard place to be a buyer for mid to long term. Yeah, have a good weekend, man. A lot of buyers coming in on the top of this candle here. Holding above 900 starts to retrace Wednesday. Keep an eye on Wednesday's POC, which is around 922. Overnight high is 934. POC on NASDAQ around 77. Keep an eye on 25,000. Nice hold number as well. That's already the high of day. Five-minute trail doing a really good job holding us up. Just broke a 5-minute pivot. 30-minute trail looks good as well. Trying to recover the daily, bouncing off that daily pivot we talked about yesterday, 788. Bouncing off the weekly trail, you just barely missed it. Daily trail flip on NASDAQ. As it pushes back up, keep an eye on that around 26,000. 26 is pretty high. 25,600, 700. Somewhere around there. Bouncing off the weekly trail. Hey, man, have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Always forget, is President's Day a market holiday? Let me see. Because that's coming up. I don't think it's next week. I think it's the week after. It is, yep. So not this coming up Monday, but the Monday after is a market holiday. Five-minute low is still being protected here. You failed to rotate a couple of times downward, and now it's trying to get that reward after you fail to rotate. It should extend that upper tail, and they're trying to do that here, but they're really struggling to find those aggressive buyers that want to push that daily high. Yeah, CVD is not reliable on TradingView. Is probably why it looks bad. Google earnings were good. Funny part is most of the earnings were good on almost all the companies we've seen recently, but they still went down anyway. Yeah, there's a couple things that happened, like the tech space, that kind of pushed it down anyway. You had all the Anthropic stuff that happened, which is kind of like if you guys were here like what, a year ago or whenever that DeepSeek stuff was going on. Remember DeepSeek was like making waves and the tech companies started selling off because there was this big new AI in town and everyone was going to switch to DeepSeek, blah blah blah. And now you don't hear a single thing about DeepSeek anymore. Um, but that sold off a lot of the tech stocks. Same thing just happened with Anthropic. They have a new AI. Well, not a new AI. I think it's just improving. They're putting out like newer versions or something like that. Um, and that started selling off a lot of the service companies. And then you had exactly what you said about the earnings. Their spending, their capital expenditure plan is pretty absurd. The thing about like the whole AI craze right now is you got to think about like construction, right? Construction is pretty slow. So we have this like AI blow up. A lot of sellers coming in on the high, by the way. Keep an eye on the 24 EMA. But construction's pretty slow, right? So pretty much in like every data center area, there are more data centers that are slated for construction or in construction already than we have data centers fully built and established. And that's coming from all the capital expenditures that we had a couple of years ago, right? So it's they're kind of like playing catch up. We had all this massive expenditures come in first couple of years where AI was blowing up, and now they're trying to catch up with their investments. They're trying to see that payoff, and then they're saying they're going to spend even more money in the next couple of years. It's like a long 5 to 8 year plan, 5 to 10 year plan, whatever. And we're only like what, 2 years into it, 3 years into it. Yeah, legal stuff, financial research, etc. Yep. They also have like the I think, are they the one that has the Claude bots? Is that Anthropic? They are the Claude one, yeah. Keep it on VWAP here, VWAP at 90. Nasty reaction on the high, which is basically what I was just talking about with the buyers being scared to buy aggressively on that high. They didn't find those aggressive buyers, unfortunately. Not seeing a great reaction on this VWAP, possibly back to the session VWAP. This is that 900 level still showing a lot of sell pressure. 5-minute trail coming up around 84. Yeah, you can see the value low of Wednesday kind of holding us down here, sweeping it on the 30-minute. They need to break through this overlap here. There's a lot of overlap on the last couple of days acting like support. That's one of the things he doesn't teach anymore, the like high percentage like retrace thing. I still use like the retrace mentality of like reclaiming value and whatnot. You can, it's just kind of preference. I don't really like the TPO value area. I prefer just to use the volume profile one. This is definitely starting to look like a macro flip here, where we were really struggling on these highs, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low as well. Every time you tried to push value, just came back down. But this time, very clearly gaining value. And as you're trying to come back down, this should be very easy, right? It was very easy the entire week. But it's not very easy. They are holding this flip here, these lows. So like low, low, you can almost even say like low there, high there. So very key flip zone here. And you can see we pulled back into it, and they're still pushing off of it. So very macro flip on that where would that be? Let's just say like 860 to like 900. I don't think it's as clean on NASDAQ, but pretty much the same thing. The level is not as obvious. The flip level is definitely not overlapping as much. The level that NASDAQ is doing is the value level being nearly identical. So value low, value high, pretty much identical. So now they're trying to flip that. And funny enough, it's almost the same level. It's almost around that 900. So around 850, 860 on NQ. A really big bullish block trade coming in there, mostly on NASDAQ. Couple of block trades, actually. You have one on ES as well around 12. So like I said, you're starting to see that macro flip. Those buyers are coming in. And one thing we're starting to see, look at the liquidity. It's finally going up. Yeah, very good liquidity. Look at that level. That level had over 100 contracts on it. Here's that weekly VWAP. VWAP around that same level, 900, 910. Getting pretty top heavy on this node here, building a strong node at 14. Just make sure they don't sweep it. Sweeping back below like 10 is pretty weak. More on XP. Keep an eye on this node here. If it stays below it, you might go back to that value high, somewhere around like 900, that overlap level. Those are the point of origin levels that I draw out during our trade plan. I talk about it in the new series. I can't remember if it's the first video or like the second or third, but it's in one of the first videos. It's just a candlestick strategy, grabbing certain levels that caused a pretty big shift in price. But yes, they typically have very good reactions. Like we had a really good reaction here earlier today. And we're already stalling out on this one here as well. Caused a lot of absorption. We'll see if they can actually stay above this. Possibly, if they do push this tail here, it's going to line up with that 30-minute close, so possibly creating single prints. Still seeing the highs being protected. They're like trying to break out, but those daily highs just keep kind of pushing you back down. Hey Jed, yeah, I was taking a look at you guys on the start of the stream, and I saw that you guys haven't accepted the friend request yet. So I was gonna send you guys emails here in a little bit to remind you to check your Discord friend request, because that's how I get you guys added to Discord. So you should see one from me. It should be Deja Brew. But yeah, I'll be sending you guys emails here in probably about an hour or so, just to remind you. But all right, guys, we are coming to the end of the stream here. We are currently at 77 likes. If you guys can get that above 100, we'll do a Apex account giveaway. If you guys are heading out early, enjoy your weekend. I will be back on Monday, same time as always. Be on the lookout for these daily highs coming up. You have the high of day of yesterday coming up pretty soon. Then you have the high of day of Wednesday coming up after that, if this trend does continue to be very strong. You have not taken out these daily highs pretty much the entire time this week. The only time you had a small break was on Tuesday, and I don't really count that because it is a sweep. So you're sweeping that high and then losing it. So highs have been protected the entire time this week. So any buy pressure that's going into those highs is going to be very dangerous. They could be holding that. If it does continue, watch that value high of Wednesday around 956. You guys have any final questions before I go? I will be streaming for the rest of the day in Discord, by the way. I don't have a course optic. It's just a Discord. The Discord comes with some teaching material, all the indicators, the live stream throughout the day, tutoring, etc., etc. But I don't have like I'm not selling a course or anything. All that stuff is on YouTube for free. But all right, guys, no giveaway for today. You guys enjoy your weekend. I will be in Discord streaming for the rest of the day. If you're not in Discord, I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace, everybody.